Right now, number 3. I'll be handling number 3 just briefly. And we have a question in the, sorry, that's the B part. This in triangle XYZ, the length of line XZ equals 6 cm. P is a point on the side XY such that the length of line XP equals 2 cm and the line through P parallel to YZ meets XZ at Q. Calculate QZ. That's the length of line QZ. Now this is the nature of the diagram. Because the equation says in triangle XYZ, the length of line XZ is 6 cm. It says P is a point on the side XY. P is a point on the side XY. And say such that XP is 2 cm and the line through P parallel to YZ, the line through P, these are points P, the line through P parallel to YZ meets XZ at Q. So this is Q. Now to calculate the length of line QZ, length of line QZ, permit me to call this Y. And if that's the case, then this becomes 6 minus Y. Okay, and however, one of the information that was missing in the equation is line XY is 5 cm. I'll write it out properly so you can see it is 5 cm. You can see that line XZ is 6 cm. So if line XY is 5 cm and XP is 2, that means YP is 5 minus 2, which is 3 cm. So this is 3. Now we'll be using our ratio of corresponding sides, as it has to do with similar shapes. So what you're saying in essence is the length of line two, okay, the length of line XP over 6 minus Y is equals 5 over 6. And then move on from there, you cross multiply. So what I'm saying is this corresponds to this as this length corresponds to this length, because you're seeing 2 triangles there, and you have 5 times 6 minus Y equals 2 times 6, which is 12. Open the bracket, and that gives you 30 minus 5y is equals 12. You want to collect terms, and that's minus 5y equals 12 minus 30. Feel free to pause at any moment, at any junction, and then review what you've learned. And you can play it in a slow pace for more clarity. So you have minus 5y equals minus 18. The coefficient of y is minus 5. Divide through by minus 5. And that will give you y equals minus 18 over minus 5. Now minus 18 over minus 5 is 3.6. That's the length of y. That's qz. I could simply say therefore qz equals 3.6 here. Our number 3. So we'll move on to number 4. Number 4. Now for number 4, the first part says solve the inequality. The inequality is 4 plus 3 over 4. You have x plus 2, 3 over 8x plus 1. So we're to solve this inequality. Now observe the fractions and then get the LCM of their denominators. The LCM of the denominator to the fraction happens to be 8. You check, you see 4 and 8. Just in case you're confused concerning the LCM. The LCM of 4 and 8. 2 goes to give you 2 and 4. 2 goes here to give you 1 and here 2. And 2 goes again. Well, since you've gotten to its junction, 2 still comes here to give you 1. And so multiply all of this and that gives you 8. So you see that the LCM of the denominators is 8. I would multiply everything. We now have to multiply everything by 8. So you have 8 times 4. You have 8 times 3 over 4. You have 8 times 3x over 8. This is another way we can write what we have here as 3 over 8x. It can be written as 3x over 8. You have plus 8 times 1. So this is 32 plus, and in this case 2 goes into 4 to give you 1 and 2 goes into 8 to give you 2. Sorry, 4 goes into 4, 1 and into 8, 2. And then you have the 2 times 3, 6x plus 2. The 8 cancels out. 8 into 8, 1 and here 1. So it leaves you with 3x plus 8 times 1. Now open the bracket and you have 32, and you have 6 times x plus 12. You want to collect terms at this point. And that will give you 6x minus 3x is then equal to 8 minus 32 minus 12. Now I could easily sort it out on this side before taking them to the other side of the inequality. And that will give us 32 plus 12, which is 44. But still in line with what we have here. So this is 3x is less than or equal to Okay, so sort it out. 8 minus 44. Or you could say 8 minus 32 minus 12. Just pick up your calculator and tap. And tell us what you've got. Okay, so if you've done that, and if you're fast about it, I believe you'll come up with minus 36. So divide both sides, divide through by your 3. You have 3x over 3 less than or equal to minus 36 over 3. This gives you x is less than or equal to minus 12. And there you go, minus 12. All right, if that's taken, let's go to the B part. The B part says by how much is the sum of by how much is the sum of 3 whole number 2 over 3 and 2 whole number 1 over 5 less than 7. By how much? What you do in this case is sum the fractions and then subtract the sum. Okay, add the fractions and subtract the sum from 7. And to just write it directly is what you have. 7 minus the sum of 3 whole number 2 over 3 plus 2 whole number 1 over 5. Now, this is 7 minus the sum of these 2. Okay, so you want to make them single fractions, and you have 3 times 3 plus 2, and that's 11. 9 plus 2, 11. 5 times 2 plus 1, that's 11 over 5. So go further. Now you want to apply your butterfly method here. That gives you 7 minus the butterfly method gives you 3 times 5, which is 15. Then that's a 3 times 5. Then 5 times 11 gives you 55. 3 times 11 gives you 33. So go further, you have 7 minus, add this up, that gives you 88 over 15. Now you don't need the bracket anymore. 88 over 15. Now move on from there. Whenever you have a fraction, you have a whole number and a fraction with a plus or minus in between. Here's what you could do. Let's write it this way. A plus or minus B over C. If there's a whole number, then you're adding or subtracting a fraction from it. This is the principle. It is AC, A times C plus or minus B over C. Okay, so that's what I'm going to apply here. You have 7 times 15 minus 88 over 15. Now, please, if you're new here, consider subscribing and do well to like, and you can share the video. All right, so 7 times 15 minus 88. Just pick up your calculator and try it out. Multiply 7 by 15 and subtract 88. Now, if you've done that, you'll notice you have 17 over 15. 17 over 15. It's an improper fraction because the numerator is bigger than the denominator. So that's one whole number, 2 over 15. And there you go. Now, these questions were dropped in the WhatsApp platform, and we're currently moving on to number 5. And so if you're confused, if you're wondering where the questions were taken from, you could just visit the WhatsApp platform. The number is in my description, or you could check my page on YouTube. You see the WhatsApp number. Go there and then just send me a message. I'll send you the question. Now the next question, which is number 5. Number 5. It says a trapezium PQRS is such that PQ is parallel to RS and the perpendicular from P to RS is 40 cm. If PQ equals 20 cm and SP equals 50 cm and SR equals 60 cm, calculate correct to 2 significant figures: the area of the trapezium and the angle QRS. Okay, so let's see how it goes. Okay, so here's how your trapezium will look. Now we're told it's a trapezium PQRS. So permit me to call this P, Q, R, and then S. And obviously in a trapezium, the top and bottom are parallel, always parallel. And hence, the equation says PQ is 20. PQ is 20 cm. The SR is 60 cm. And the next information given is SP. SP is 50. SP is 50 cm. Okay, so what do we do from here? The part that gives us more insight into solving the equation is RS 40 cm. We say the perpendicular P to RS is 40 cm. The perpendicular from P, from this point to the line. So since it's a perpendicular, it meets the line at 90 degrees. It's perpendicular to line SR or RS. And so Z is 40 cm. Now we could equally do the same here. We could draw a perpendicular line to RS from Q, and it's still 40. So this part is 20 cm. Now it's up to us to find this and this. But however, for the first question, it says find the area of the trapezium. The area of the trapezium. Now, area of the trapezium of a trapezium is equal to 1 over 2, that's half of the height times the top, the length of the top, plus the length of the bottom, the top, bottom. Now, I used letters. You could use any letter of your choice. You could use A, B, C, X, Y, Z, and a number of letters. Okay, so in this case, H is 40, A is 20, and B is 60. Impute the values. We call it substitution. And so the area denoted as A is 1 over 2 times 40, which is the height, this is the actual height of the trapezium. It has to be a line that meets the base at 90 degrees. So you have times 20 plus 60. Now you're multiplying, so the 2 and the 40 have something in common. 2 into 2 is 1, and into 40 is 20. Then you have 20 times 80. And that simply gives you 160. Okay, sorry. And this is a simple way you go about it. 2 times 8 is 16, and then the 2 zeros will be written. This centimeter square. And so behold, the area of the trapezium has been gotten. Now it's up to us to find B. This is the A. It has been sorted out. Now what about B? B says find this angle. Find angle QRS. Angle QRS. Angle QRS. So the angle is located at the middle, and so you see why the Q comes first, R and S, or we could call it SRQ. To get that done, we'll have to follow the protocol we would. So the B, angle QRS. Now, first of all, we'll have to find this part, find this, the length of this side, then go on to finding the length of this, of which we've gotten it is 20, then you'd find the length here. But observe that SR is 60 cm, that's the length. So permit me to call this R, small letter r. This part has been gotten already as 20. And let's call this M. Now moving on. Using your Pythagoras theorem, r squared plus 40 squared is equals to 50 squared. That's Pythagoras rule. So if you sort things out from here, you have r squared is equals 50 squared minus 40 squared. Now, if you're familiar with what we call Pythagorean triple, you know that r is 30. But just for those who have one or two struggles with this, would continue this way. Now, we have difference of two squares. And for difference of two squares, you could simply say 50 minus 40 times 50 plus 40. Or simply use your calculator to get the work done as fast as possible. So r squared is 50 minus 40 is 10. 50 plus 40 is 19. That gives you 900 if you multiply. So what's next? Find and take the square root of both sides. So r is the square root of 900, which is 30. And so you see we found r. Now r is 30. This part is 20. What about here? Now knowing that the length from S to R to S is 60. So just sum these two and remove from 60. So M is 60 minus the sum of 20 and 30. That gives you 10, because 60 minus 50 is 10. 10 cm. Now over to the angle. Angle QRS. Now since we have this as 10, so it means we can use one of the trigonometric ratios. We have sine, cosine, and tan. And you ask which one fits into the situation we have here. Since the opposite side and the adjacent sides are given, you're going to use tan. So tan of angle QRS is equals the opposite side over the adjacent side, which is 4. And your QRS is tan inverse of 4. Tan inverse of 4. So the tan inverse of 4 is 75.9638. 9638 degrees to 4 decimal places. And the question gives us a prescription on our approximation here. It says correct to 2 significant figures. And so in 2 significant figures, you would start from the first non-zero digit. 7 happens to be the first, and 5. And so if you take your demarcation from behind 5, that's the second significant digit. 9 contributes 1. That gives you 76 degrees. So number 5 has been completed. And we'll be moving on to number 6. Number 6. Now, if you check number 6 out, it says the first term of an arithmetic progression. The first term of an arithmetic progression is 8. So let's write it out. That's the first part. The first term is 8. Now let's write the end term. The end term is t subscript n equals a plus n minus 1 d. A is the first term, common difference. Now first term t1 is a, and the reason why it's a is because if 1 comes here, if it replaces n, then 1 will definitely replace n here. So whatever comes here invariably comes here. So 1 minus 1 is 0. 0 times d is 0. That ends us this. So it says the first term is 8. If the ratio of the 7th term to the 9th term is 5:8, if the ratio of the 7th term, so let's take it this way, that's the next statement, the 7th term to the 9th term is 5:8. Find the common difference of the arithmetic progression. Find the common difference of the arithmetic progression. Now, following the nth term, if 7 replaces n, you have n 7 minus 1, which is 6. So I'm going to have a plus 6d is to a plus 8d. And that's 5:8. Now, ratio can be written out as fractions. So this is a plus 6d over a plus 8d equals 5/8. The next thing we want to do is cross multiply. or multiply both sides by the LCM of the denominator. Now this ends you 8 times a plus 6d equals 5 times a plus 8d. As usual, open the brackets or clear brackets. You have 8 multiplying everything in the bracket. You have 8a plus 48d equals 5a plus 40d. Now, remember, we told us earlier, we're told that a is 8. A is 8. So I could just do that here. Replace a with 8. 48d, 5 times 8. Now, 8 times 8 is obvious, 64. You have minus what you get from here is 40. Let's say you have 40d minus 48d. The 48 has a plus, and it comes this way to become minus. 5 times 8 is 40, and there's a plus here. It leaves the equality sign to become minus. And when you move further from here, you have 24 is equals minus 8d. Divide both sides by minus 8. And you have minus 8d. Now I'm switching their position. I'm taking minus 8 this way and 24 this way, in which the signs are not going to change because I'm just swapping their position. So you have minus 8. Now, the essence of dividing is to simply find d. So d is minus 3. And there you go. The question says find the common difference, and we found the common difference, which is d. It's minus 3. Okay, so please, if you're new here, consider subscribing and do well to like and share. Thank you. And if you've been here and you've not subscribed, please, it's not too late to do that. Now, number 6b. Number 6b. It says a trader bought 30 baskets of pawpaw and 100 baskets of mangoes for 2,450 naira. Okay. Now, what we do here is, okay, let me read the question to the end. It says she sold the pawpaw at a profit of 40% and the mangoes at a profit of 30%. If her profit on the entire transaction was 855 naira, find the 1 cost price of a basket of pawpaw, and 2 selling price of the 100 baskets of mango. So let's move on into this. Let's dive into the question. The first thing we want to do is let the price of a basket of pawpaw be P, and then we could do the same for mangoes. Let the price of a basket of mango be M. Let me write it out. Let M be the price of a basket of mango. A basket of mangoes. And then P be the price of a basket of pawpaw. Now, from the first statement has it this way. It says a trader bought 30 baskets of pawpaw and 100 baskets of mangoes for 2,450 naira. Now here is how the equation is written. 30 baskets of pawpaw, and so the price of the 30 will be 30 times the price of one basket plus 100 baskets of mango, and that equals 2,450. Now before you call it equation 1, let's break it down to its lowest terms, and you notice that 10 can go into everything. So divide by 10, that gives you 30p divided by 10 gives you 3p, and 100m divided by 10 gives you 10m. Divide 2,450 by 10, the 0 cancels out. Then you can call it equation 1. However, if I'd called this equation 1 and then this equation 2, it's still okay. Okay, so the next statement says she sold the pawpaw at a profit of 40% and the mangoes at a profit of 30%. She sold the pawpaw at a profit of 40% and the mangoes at a profit of 30%. And now the next statement says if her profit on the entire transaction was 855 naira, then we're to find the cost price of a basket of pawpaw and the selling price of the 100 baskets of mangoes. Okay, so let's move on to the next statement, and this is how it will be written out. 40% of the 30 baskets of pawpaw plus 30% of the 100 baskets of mango is equal to 8. That's the profit on the entire transaction. Okay, so 40% of 30 will be what? And 30% of 100 will be what? Let's find out. You have 40 over 100 times 30p over 1 plus 30 over 100 times 100m to be 855. Now this 0 cancels this and this goes to this. That leaves you with 12p. 4 times 3. The same goes here. The 2 zeros cancels. Or we could just say 100 here 1 and 100 here 1. So we have 30m equals 855. Now you could equally reduce to the lowest terms. And if you observe, 3 can go into 12, 3 can go into 30. Will 3 go into 855? Now here's how you know. Use the rule of divisibility. Now for 3, to know if a number can be divided by 3, first you sum the digits of the number. And if the sum is divisible by 3, that means that the number is divisible by 3. And so let's check, let's test it. 8 plus 5, you have 13 plus 5, 18. Can 18 be divided by 3 without a remainder? Of course. So that means 855 is divisible by 3. And if we divide by 3, just as we did here, so let's do the same here. Divide everything by 3. You would have 4p, 12p divided by 3 is 4p, 30m divided by 3 is 10m, and then 855 divided by 3, you have 285. You can use your calculator to try it out. Now, if that's done, simply call it equation 2. That's equation 2. Okay, so I'll be merging the two equations to sort things out with them. It permits me to wipe. So let's merge the two equations. The first equation, well, I would want to write the second equation first, which is 4p plus 10m equals 285. And the first equation, you have 3p plus 10m equals 245. Now these are simultaneous equations, and we have various methods in solving simultaneous equations. We have the Cramer's rule, which is the determinant method. We have elimination method and the substitution method. Now in this case, I would prefer to use the elimination method. And the reason is because we have 10 as a coefficient of m in both. And so just simply subtract if that's the case. And more so if their signs are the same. If the signs were different, then addition would get us to eliminating them. And so 4p minus 3p gives you 1p. 1p. But in algebra, if it's 1p, you don't need to write a 1. And so 10m minus 10m, and it affects the plus anyway. Minus times plus is minus. And so that gives you 0 in this case. And 285 minus 245 is 40. And so that means the price of a basket of pawpaw. Okay, so that means a basket. In English, we start with a capital letter if you want to write a statement. A basket of pawpaw is 40 naira. Now let's move on to the next. This is the first part. And the second part says the selling price of the 100 baskets for pawpaw. So for 100 baskets of pawpaw, what do you think? To get 100 baskets of pawpaw. So first of all, let's replace P with 40. Replace P with 40 in any of the equation. Let's say equation 1. So that means we're going to have 3 times 40 plus 10m equals 245. 3 times 40 is 120 plus 10m. So move on to finding your m. This is 245 minus 120. That gives you 125. And so you have 10m equals 125. Divide both sides by 10. So your m is 12.5. Now it says the selling price of the 100 baskets of mangoes. Selling price of 100 baskets of mangoes. Permit me to wipe the board, but then don't hesitate to review the video again and pause at some points to jot down if it concerns you. But if you're not interested, you can send it to someone who needs it. Maybe your cousin, your neighbor, your brother, or whoever, a friend. we're still solving the second part of B. We got N to be 12.5. And so the selling price of 100 baskets of pawpaw will be. Now, from the question, we have it that 30%, she got 30% profit from the mangoes. So it's going to be 100 plus 30%. The 100 is the cost price, that's the initial price. Then the 30 is the profit. So you're going to multiply this by the 100 baskets of pawpaw, of mango. Now this is 130% of 100 baskets. So this is 12.5 as M. Then notice the 100 goes, and that's 130 times 12.5. That leaves you with, this leaves you with 1,625. 1,625 naira. Now, since it's a currency, we would always want to put 0.00. That's to stand for the lower denomination. Okay, that is that for equation 6. I'm moving on to equation 7. So equation 7. We have in a class of 40 students, 18 passed maths, 19 passed accounts, 16 passed economics, 5 maths and economics and accounting only, 6 mathematics only, 9 accounts only, 2 accounts and economics only. If each student offered at least one of the subjects, A, how many students failed in all the subjects? B, find the percentage number who failed in at least one of economics and maths. And then C, calculate the probability that a student chosen at random failed in accounts. Now, this demands a Venn diagram. A Venn diagram comes into play in this case. Now let's start out. The number in the class, I'll call it the universal set, is 40. And the question says that 18 passed maths. So let's take M to be maths and the number that passed maths was M. So the number that passed accounts is 19. The number that passed economics is 16. It says 5 passed maths and economics. 6, that's only. 6 passed maths only. 9 accounting only. 2 accounts and economics only. And if each student offered at least one of the subjects, we'll find the number. That's how many students failed in all the 3. And so, your Venn diagram straight. We have the universal set, 40 of them. Now, this is going to give us 3 circles. Let me make it bigger. Okay, so permit me to call this maths, and call this economics, and then account as accounts. The question says 19 past maths. Let's just put it here. It's not necessary anyway, but economics, let's put the 16. In accounting, let's put 19. Now let's take X to stand in for those that filled in all of the three. These are number that filled maths, economics, and accounts. That's why I'm writing it outside the circles, but within the rectangle or square. Now, from the question, it says 6 past maths only. That comes here. Only. It says 5 past maths and economics and accounting. Only. So maths and accounting, this overlap is for maths and accounting, and they said only. So that means it comes here. But if it is just maths and accounting without the word only, then it includes this entirely, this space. Now the question goes on to tell us that 9 past accounting only. So that comes here. 2 past accounting and economics only. I call it accounts or accounting. And so I'll put the 2 here. That's how much information we have. And we to sort out how many students filled in all the 3. That's what to find X. Afterwards, we'll find the percentage number who filled in at least 1 of economics and maths. Who filled in 1 in economics or maths? That's economics and maths. And then we'll now find the probability that a student chosen at random failed in accounting. That's in accounts. All right, moving on from here. Permit me to call this space, let's say R. Let's call here Y. And let's call here B. So you can see, you could be flexible with the letters you use. If that's the case, we may want to start out with accounts to find R. Because if you check the circle, this circle entirely, though not perfect, is 19. So we're going to add everything here and equate it to 19 to find R. R plus 5 plus 9 plus 2 is 19. So what is R? That is 19 minus the sum of these values. 5 plus 9 is 14 plus 2, 16. So that gives you 3. Now R has been found to be 3. Move on to M, because if you go on with economics, you still have 2 unknowns to sort out. But here, since 1 has been sorted out, it becomes easy to find B. And so B plus 6 plus 5 plus 3 is equals 18. The circle entirely is 18. And so B is going to be 18 minus what? 6 plus 5, 11, plus 4, plus 3, 14. That gives you 4. Means your B is 4. Now we can comfortably find Y. So Y plus 4 plus 3 plus 2 is equals 16. That means Y is going to be 16 minus 4 plus 3 is 7 plus 2 is 9. So you have 16 minus 9, which is 7. So this is 7. Now we would want to find X. just permit me to wipe this part. Since the values have been gotten, x plus everything we have here, all the values we have here, equals 40, because they are all under the coverage 40. So let's take it gently. X plus 6 plus 5 plus 9 plus 7 plus 2 plus 4 plus 3 equals 40. There is no particular order. You could just take it randomly, but make sure every value is included. In fact, take a good look at what's written. If there's anyone that was missing or that is missing. Okay, so you have x plus, add the values here up. Six plus 5 is 11, plus 9, 20, plus 7, 27. You have 29. 29 plus 4 is 33, plus 3, 36. So you have 36 equals 40. That means x is 40 minus 36. That gives you 4. So that means 4 failed in all of the three. 4 failed. And take it up from there to the B parts. It says find the percentage number who failed in at least one of economics and mathematics. Find the percentage number who failed in mathematics, economics, and maths. Now we'll be using the Venn diagram to solve the rest as we used it for the first. So B, the percentage have failed in at least one of economics and maths. And if you observe these two circles has the values for maths and economics. We're looking for those who failed in one of both of them. And here's how we do it. You're taking 9 and you have your x. Now if you take it that way, you have 4 plus 9, which is 13. But it says who failed in at least one of economics and maths. And that gives you 13 over 40 when you add up times its percentage, so times 100%. So multiplying gives you 1,300 over 40, or 130, because these zeros cancel out. And dividing gives you 32.5%. Then the last, it says find the probability that, calculate the probability that the student chosen at random failed in accounts. So it's that the student failed in accounts. You have the probability that the student failed accounts. Now this is short form for accounts. is going to be x plus 6 plus 4 plus 7, and x happens to be 4. So let's just add it up. We have 4 plus 6 plus 4 plus 7. 4 plus 6 plus 4 plus 7, that gives you 21 over 40. You could leave it in this fractional form, and you're home and dry. Thank you very much for your time. Thanks for staying with me all this while. And remember, don't hesitate to subscribe. Do well to subscribe if you've not. Turn on the bell notification so that you'll be notified if videos drop. And do well to like and share. If you have any question or a comment, you can drop it in the comments section. Thank you.